With the Titan X not being for those faint of wallet, and the GTX 980 leaving some enthusiasts unsatisfied, Nvidia created a middle ground, the 980ti. The unit I have is an MSI branded card cooled by their newest twin Frosier 5 series coolers. The fans remain powered off until the card is about 60 degrees Celsius. With the card normally idling around 48 Celsius, the fans won't power on under normal use, and even when playing lower load games like League of Legends, the fans will usually remain off. Although in size, the 980ti is much smaller than AMD's 390X, it's extremely fast. It has 6GB of GDDR5 clocked at a maximum of 7,100 MHz in OC mode, a 384-bit memory interface, a core clock of 1,279 MHz, support for DirectX 12, and up to 4-way SLI. As far as connectors go, it has one dual-link DVI-I, an HDMI 1.4 output, and 3 display 1.2 ports, which are capable of 4K resolutions at 60 Hz. In games, this card is a monster. Coupled with an Intel i7 6700K at stock speeds and 16GB of RAM at 2100 MHz, I had no trouble playing anything at 1080p. In GTA 5 with max settings, I had a consistent 70 frames per second on the ground, sometimes dropping into the 60s during intense scenes, and in the air I was averaging about 100 frames per second. In Shadows of Mordor, the results were a little confusing. On ultra settings at 1080p, without VSync, I was getting 100 frames per second consistently, with an occasional dip to exactly 55 frames per second. So I'm not sure what's going on with the frame rates, but the bottom line is that it's perfectly playable at 1080p. In the Tomb Raider benchmark at 1080p with everything on ultra, the card kept an average frame rate of 143.9 frames per second, maxing out at 176 frames per second and dipping down to 110. The conclusion speaks for itself. This is an intense video card that comes at a fairly reasonable price. If you're a 1080p gamer, this is far beyond overkill for you, and a 980 will probably do just fine. However, I could see this being a perfect card for those who want to play more demanding titles at 2K and 4K resolutions. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.